Hey everybody, welcome back to the page, the channel. What the hell do you call these YouTube things? Let's call it the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well today. Just saw a movie. We're going to do a review real quick about Cocaine Bear. Saw it last night with my 17-year-old. Her one-word review, and it is quote unquote terrible. I have a little bit more of a positive reaction to it. I didn't think it was terrible necessarily. It certainly wasn't as good or thought out as I might have hoped. Elizabeth Banks was a director. She's fantastic. Love her. She's a great actress. I believe she also is the director of the Pitch Perfect movies, which are very funny and serviceable. This was... I think what they were going for, so basically, quick plot point, you've got regular bear, and then you have cocaine bear. This is what happens when you mix cocaine with mammals. It's not a pretty picture. So, plot, it's the 80s. It's based on a true story, limitedly. A drug dealer throws bags of cocaine, bricks of cocaine into a forest in Georgia. A bear stumbles upon it, quickly becomes, Jim Belushi and addicted and goes on this murderous rampage, eating Icelandic hikers and nature lovers galore. And it is gory AF, which I enjoyed. That was probably my favorite part of the whole thing was its pacing. It was frenetic, high energy from the get-go. You're going to see a movie called Cocaine Bear. You get a movie about a bear on cocaine. And so nothing disfavorable necessarily about that. I think where it lost me a lot was in its tone. You have this maudlin ex-drug dealer and his best friend, and they have to go for Ray Liotta, R.I.P. Ray. It was awesome to see one of his last performances before he passed away. So that was cool just to see Ray playing, a drug dealer. It wasn't like anything different for the guy. I've definitely seen him in those kinds of roles before. But anyways, and so his son and his son's best friend, who's also a drug dealer, who reminded me a lot of Ice Cube. Like, I swear I want to look up to see if that was his son. It looks so much like him. Even his kind of facial animations reminded me a lot of Ice Cube. But anyways, so that story's happening, and then there's like two kids who end up like ingesting cocaine because, why not? You're out in the forest on a hike skipping school. You might as well, try to eat cocaine off a switchblade. It was a lot. And they end up running away because the cocaine bear's after them, and and it's really gruesome. I think one of my favorite parts was Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family. He plays this nature lover guy who's out there to go look at the animals. I never really understood why, but a park ranger who's got the hots for him, and she's getting all dressed and putting her lipstick on and her perfume and making cracks about her dry beaver. It's all hilarious and really, really funny and charming. And those two go off, and one of the girl's mother, played by Carrie Russell, is looking for her, the one that ran away and ate the cocaine. And so those three go off, and it just turns into carnage and hilarity and this giant kind of rampage. The only problem with it, like tonally, it feels kind of off. I'm like, are you a satire and a farce and a pure comedy, or are you trying to be, thread that delicate line between the two where you have genuine empathy and sympathy for your characters and there's some heart and emotion there, mixed with comedy and gore, because that works and that can happen. Like Scream is a great example of comedy and horror combined. Or another one that made me, because Elizabeth Banks was in it, was Slither. Like, that's a great combination of like satire and comedy and just gruesome, gross out horror. And it works well, but you have to pick a tone. And so I think one of the things that I was put off by this movie was it didn't know what it wanted to be. Are you just a schlocky gore fest? If so, then you need to play on, having your characters be, kind of unredeemable archetypes, or are you, again, trying to be a little bit more sincere and have genuine characters that you care about? Well, then you need to, tone down the satire a little bit and have it play a little bit more directly, mixed in with that straight comedy. I don't know. It felt too like trying to be both a farce and a genuine horror comedy at the same time. And I got a little lost, and it felt, at the end of the day, I described it to my husband as funny, bloody, and kind of stupid at the same time. But it's one of those things, like, given like almost nearly 24 hours now, where I will look back on Cocaine Bear with a smile. So I guess that says something, What do you think? Go ahead and leave your comments and your thoughts on this ravenous, drug addicted bear, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for visiting.